I love the commitment of this team. You guys, this team is on fire. Can you feel it? Like, can you feel the momentum? Can you feel the energy? Like, this team is the team to be watching. I'm just so excited for you guys. So real quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and dive in. Quick updates. I'm going to kind of circle back on this as we go through a little bit of training today, but yours truly is running the Get calls this week. Susan or Jessica always kicks off Mondays, but I'm running the calls the rest of the week in your leadership team. So be sure to dial in, hear from us. Huge shout out to Dawn Turner, who's stepping up in her leadership, and she's actually going to run the product training call on Tuesday. So guys, don't miss. She's just so elegant and eloquent with the science behind the products, and you're going to learn so much from her and get your team on the line to hear as well. Jennifer Bartram, our newest, I always say newest, but you're our newest executive. She's going to be rising up, and actually her team is exploding. I mean, half or more of the people on this line tonight are her team. So I'm letting her have the mic on Thursday and give her a chance to highlight her rising leaders in her downline, because they're exploding. I know she's got a lot of new growth, and I want to give her the space to recognize some of the people on her team on Thursday on the Get Call in the morning. So stay tuned for that. Lastly, the opportunity overviews Tuesday night and Wednesday night. They're my job. They're my responsibility to run on Tuesday and Wednesday night. I'm definitely running the opportunity overview on Wednesday night. If any of you are in a place in your Isagenix journey that you feel confident enough that you would like to rise up and do the product overview like Jennifer has done, the opportunity overview on Tuesday night, feel free to reach out and let me know if it is something that you want to step into and do. I just need to know in the next 24 hours so that we can have the flyer out so that everybody can leverage that for invitations. Otherwise, I'm going to do it. So you guys are going to hear a lot of me this week between the Get calls and the opportunity overviews. So there's that. Now, I'm going to give some shout outs, and then I'm going to turn it over because I know some of you guys want to give shout outs as well. I ran some numbers, guys, and I just wanted to start with, the bread and butter. I mean, the topic of the call tonight is creating managers. But to be a manager, you have to be in recruitment. In recruitment mode, right? And not only do you have to be in recruitment mode, but the people that you are bringing into your organization, you have to be leading on some level. To become a manager, you have not only recruited 2 people and become consultant, but those 2 people that you have enrolled, you have taught how to also become consultant by duplicating what you just did, which is no small feat. The first 2 times you do it, it's very difficult. I think we after you've gotten up to like the exec status, you kind of forget how difficult those first 2 consultant creations are. And kind of once you get your groove, you have your own system and it becomes more duplicatable. But that's a little bit of what we're going to talk about tonight. But having said that, you're going to have more success in creating consultants. You're going to have more success in creating managers if you just continue to recruit. A lot of times people get stuck with their first couple of recruitments and try to spend too much time coaching the 2 people they've got on their little team versus continuing to look for more people, right? And so it's a balance. And so that's where I want to give some huge shout outs today. I ran a report for March. For the month of March, I want to recognize our top sponsors, which means people who did the most enrollments. So number 1, if you put this couple together, would be Jenny and Carl. Jenny recruited 4 and Carl recruited 2. So I like to put married couples together when it comes to recruitment. So I want to give you guys a huge shout out for 6 recruitments this month. And so it's no surprise that you hit your Crystal Manager deadline, right? And I'm sure Jennifer is going to talk about that in a minute, but you guys are in massive action, right? So huge shout out to you guys. Christine Manukin, who I don't think is on the line tonight, she recruited 5 people this month. She doesn't stop, guys. She's been with the company as long as I have. We've been together for 4 years, and she still put 5 in the hopper this past month, right? So that's like 1 a week. So huge shout out to her. Jennifer Bartram leading the pack as well. She put in 4 enrollments last month. So that's 1 a week. And then our Tammy Fry, no surprise, put in 3, and so did Sindra Yang, who went consultant last month. So you guys, you 5 were my top 5 sponsors in March. So huge shout outs to you guys. The second thing I wanted to recognize are folks with top cycles. So what we see with cycles is every cycle is worth $54. What I did is I ran a report to see who had the highest cycles for the month of March. And so what I'm going to do here is recognize the top 5 cumulative cycles for the month. So our top cycler for March was Stacy Matsuoka with a total of 43 cycles. And then, so huge shout out to you, Stacy. I know Stacy has twin daughters that she juggles at bedtime right now, and she sometimes is catching the recording. So she'll catch this later. So huge shout out to her. Our second top cycler for March was Tammy Fry with 38 cycles. So huge shout out to her. Our third top cycler for March was Heather Fry, who's also on Tammy Fry's team, her daughter. And then tied for 4th place, or 3rd place, I guess you could say, for top cyclers for the month of March was Jennifer Bartram and Michelle. So you guys had a cumulative cycles of 22. Now the cool thing is you guys are all in different places in your business, right? So some of you, so for someone who's cycling at 22 cycles for the month, that's like for Jennifer, who's fairly new in growing her business over the past year, you take into consideration those cycles are residual. So that's the money that she had coming into her from the business she's already built, right? And then you take into consideration that she also enrolled 4 people this past month. That's the linear pay that she got for her referral bonuses. Same with Tammy Fry. When I look at her cycles for the month, and then she also was recruiting, that's the difference between the residual that's coming in and then the upfront cash you're getting for referral bonuses. So it's really kind of cool to see people's businesses in different places, depending on the year that they came in, but also your compensation can look totally different based on who you've recruited that month, right? If it's been a month where you put in an ultimate pack and a value pack in the same week, then you've already made more probably in referral bonuses than you have in cycles that week. So huge shout out to you guys. Okay, so I'm going to be quiet and ask before we get into content if there's anyone else who'd like to give any recognition to their teams.
I do, if it's okay.
Yep, go for it.
My voice is a little rough, but yes, I want to give a shout out to Jenny too. Jenny just enrolled. I haven't even done this yet. Jenny just enrolled her first ultimate pack tonight. Whoop, whoop. So go Jenny. That was awesome. I want to give a shout out is my team had expressed that they wanted to do something. They want to do their own challenge and they wanted to roll with it. And they challenged me to lead them through this. And with that, I have about 14 people that stepped up and they're excited about it. We've shared it. We've gone with the, how we did New Beginnings, No Excuses, but we made positive changes to that. And they have been in contact with me, diligent, on mark, wanting to do this. They kicked off tonight. And so we're going hardcore with that. So that's one thing that they asked me to do. And so I'm going to do weekly giveaways. And so I'm excited about that. They're excited. And so that's one aspect of our team being on fire. I think there were 8 of us at Charlotte. That 8 is still staying strong. Within that, we have some millennials that have caught the fire and they're ready to go too. So I'm excited. So I've said so a lot and my voice is a little rough. But anyway, Becky Godwin and co are going to have their own Super Saturday that I'm going to help them with this weekend. So we're just having a ball. We're looking forward to figuring out some times that we can get some of the other teams together because Jenny's team's on fire. So anyway, we're just trying to make it all happen. And then when I was in Charlotte, I got to have some pretty good conversation with Chelsea Miller. So I'm looking forward to that connection once I move to Philly and how we can get, and everybody's doing the Zoom with me sometimes now too. So I'm pumped. We're just busy and having fun with it.
Just taking action. Just taking action. I love it. I love it. So many nuggets there. So Becky and Co, first of all, like huge congrats to hosting your own event. So keep me posted on that and anything I can do to support you. I mean, that's like just the first step is just putting a stake down and saying, we're doing it. We're inviting people and we're owning it. So huge kudos to you. And you can feel the momentum after coming off of an event, right? And the action that you want to take. Secondly, I really apologize if I got you sick. Because I know it was running through our household these past couple of weeks. And then lastly, and this is a good segue, I think. Well, wait, because there might be more recognition. But Jenny, your Ultimate Pack. Can you please just share with the group, because you've been with us for just a couple of months, right? I mean, you just hit your Crystal Manager deadline, which means you've been building for less than 60 days, right? And you hit Crystal Manager and you put in an Ultimate Pack. Tell us what your strategy was with the Ultimate Pack and how you were able to close the deal.
Well, I listened and I'm duplicating. So I was in Charlotte last weekend and I'm like, why wouldn't you lead with the business, per your segment? And actually, I can't take full credit for this individual because it's actually Carl's barber. And we sampled her and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that because we don't go and try out a haircut and then decide whether or not we're going to pay. But she's a good peep to Carl. And so we went, let's just do this. Let's figure it out. And I had already sent her an assessment form, so I knew what she was looking for. I knew she'd be a good business prospect because she doesn't like her car payment. And then we come to find out after the fact, I hit her up and I said, hey, did you put Isagenix in your day today on Monday? Because my husband sampled her on Sunday while I was in Charlotte. And she said, yes, we did. But actually, then she let on that it was for her husband, that she was looking more for something for him than her. And she has to do like limited chocolate. So she gave the shake, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward, I'm like, well, we need to talk. When's a good time? And so we set it up for today. So I literally was bouncing between corporate job for 4 hours, running home to do the thing, because you learn you've got to sacrifice time, personal time, work time. I did that. We met with them and I just led with the business. I said, hey, I had your assessment, and then I learned that it was for Roger. And I said, Roger, what are your goals? And then I just kind of turned back to who's already networking, the barber. And I said, I don't know if you're interested in the business aspect, but I know you hate that car payment. And we have vehicles that can make all of this happen for you. And so she pretty much let me know then. She's not really into the business right now, but she did concede that, yeah, she talks to people all day. Of course, there was somebody sitting in the car, her sister, that didn't want to come in and hear this. So there was a little sense of urgency to get things done today. And they pretty much decided that they wanted a value pack. And then they questioned me. And I said, well, I will tell you, if I knew back then what I know now, we would have come in with an Ultimate Pack. And I said, you get twice as much for 2 months. And since you guys are sharing, and Carl and I knew we were going to be doing that to share, and we were actually in a position to do it, that's probably what we should have done. And then, of course, now we're in the business end, so it's a complete write-off. So she deferred to her husband. He's like, whatever you want to do. And I'm like, oh, you sound like my husband. And then, boom, we just went with it. And then I let her know, you may not want to do the business now, but here's the beautiful thing. I kind of had interjected where this company was going, and we're about to hit critical mass. And the beautiful thing is you are coming into our team, so you are placed. So if you decide you want to turn it on, that entire Ultimate Pack will be a write-off. If you just want to be consumers, that's great too. And boom, first Ultimate Pack.
I love it. So a couple of nuggets here. The big one is confidence, right? Did you guys hear Jenny's confidence as she was talking? Just kind of matter of fact and very confident. And I love what you said about, just the transparency that you started with the value pack, but had you, in retrospect, you would have gone with the Ultimate Pack, which was really what I told Martin, when Martin came on board, knowing that he his wife was probably going to eat some of it. He's got kids in the house. And so I think that, as long as you lead with confidence and you know without a shadow of a doubt it's the right thing for the person and you're trustworthy and respectable, I mean, they're going to listen to you. And if it doesn't work in their budget, then that's okay. But I love that, Jenny. So thank you.
The husband-wife thing works well too, because Carl was here kind of counterparting his experiences. And he already has that solid relationship, and she interjected a lot of things that she knew about our family since Carl has been coming to her. So, that made it easier than some. And I know a lot of you folks got, the warm market can be the toughest market. And I'm just like, next. They're watching. They're all watching. Like, I find different things. I saw someone on our live feed today who's one of my besties. And it's just a matter of letting them see our confidence and that this isn't a fly-by-night bad thing. And it will come. So I just have to do one other little shout out that I waited because I knew you guys were going to have me speak. But Ryan and Corey are those young ones. And, there is that fear of rejection and not wanting to do that person pestering your friends and whatnot, but they are so open. And that's the biggest thing that I'm learning is that, like what you said, we're building our network, and now I've got to spend time with them so they learn that duplication too. Unfortunately, we had schedule conflicts, so they couldn't have been at Charlotte, but boy, am I sharing the videos, and boy, are they listening.
That's awesome.
You guys keep talking to people.
That's right. And I see them popping through my Isopulse. Your team's on fire for sure. Well, and also, Jenny, the thing you hit the nail on the head, and I hope you guys really heard this, is that she mentioned the business, regardless of whether they thought they were interested or not. I'm here to tell you right now, as a retired 6-figure income earner with Isagenix, that had Amanda Ham not mentioned the financial opportunity, I never would have considered it. And when she mentioned it to me, when she enrolled me with the nutrition, I still thought it was a joke, right? But her confidence and her success as I was eating it, getting results and watching her is what drew me in. And it didn't draw me in overnight. I didn't become like a one-hit wonder overnight with her business, right? Like, it was a slow progression. So you have to be patient with your network as they're coming in. I recruit people in all the time that they get in and then they're like, oh, well, I just want to try the products, but I've already led with the business. They know the financial opportunity, and they slowly begin to get comfortable and confident with it. A lot of people have no experience with network marketing. So they don't want to just jump in and completely own it when they don't know what they're getting into, right? Okay, awesome. Awesome. Any other shout outs that you guys want to give? All right, I am going to, there we go, mute. Okay, so what I was going to do for the remainder of the call, and I actually, since Jenny is our newest Crystal manager, I want to lean on her to give a couple of nuggets too, Jenny, before I get into kind of my insights on managers. I want to take a step back and just say that in every national and international corporate event that I've been to, the most successful leaders that stand on stage and talk about what they do to grow their business and manage their business, somewhere in their presentation, and I saw this at Top Achievers too, is the greatest leaders, one of their goals is to create 2 managers a month. 2 managers a month. And so it's about you doing the do, but then showing those people how to do it too. And it truly is the ultimate first big step in leadership, right? Like, becoming consultant is a big step, right? But taking those people that you've brought in and teaching them how to do what you just did is a whole nother step. And so what I'm going to talk with you guys about tonight is the simplicity and the duplication that needs to take place so that the people you bring in have some direction and it's duplicatable, that they know what to do next. And so that not only do they know what to do next, when they find a couple of people to bring into their organization, can they quickly turn around and show them how to do the same thing that you just did with them? Is that making sense? Because if we make it too complex, people can't follow suit. And also, a lot of us, me included, get so excited and hyped up at the enrollment itself, you can get on a high of just enrolling people, and then you just leave them to dry. Like you just leaving them hanging. You've got all these people that you've put in the docket, you've enrolled, and you're like, yeah, now go find 2 people and let's get you to consultant. But we haven't coached them or shared with them any of the tools and resources that make it simple for them, right? And so I'm going to ask kind of a rhetorical question, but I want you guys to think about, what is your process when you enroll someone and they are interested in potentially sharing, either to get their products paid for or to build a business? What are your next steps? What are your next steps with those people? And are you doing the same thing with every person that you bring in? Okay? Because what I find is where people get lost is they come in and they're eager and they're excited, but they have no idea where to go. They have no idea what to do. They have no idea what to say or how to share. And so they just don't, but they love the products, right? And so we have to make it simple so that they can teach their people how to do it too. So hopefully this is making sense. So before I go into, I've got like 6 tried and true steps. And you guys can put pen to paper if you want. And it's all really through the Get website. But I have 6 steps that I take with every enrollment that I bring in that I'm going to share with you guys this evening that I think are going to help you begin to create managers. But I was going to actually have Jenny give her insights first, but I think she just stepped away. Oh, there she is. Okay. But Jenny, you are fresh to becoming a manager yourself. And Jennifer is very fresh on leading you to that spot, right? And so I'd love for the 2 of you to maybe give your most recent thoughts and share with the team your strategies. Jen, from your perspective as a leader, how you were able to coach and get Jenny to move along the continuum within 60 days. And for you, Jenny, what approach you took to crush that goal and hit Crystal Manager?
If the first thing, Jenny, is after what was it, like a week, Jenny, you're like, I'm ready, because you guys had already transformed so much. She had an interest, but she was more interested in helping her husband physically. But I knew she had the background, so I trickled some things at her and just kept her. And then it didn't take long at all. She's like, I'm ready. She said this was huge because they were both having that transformation. So one thing that actually helped us is I met with her. Would we meet 3 times early? I think 3 times in a row. We met for about an hour and a half. And I went over the Global Exec website. And I also shared with her the videos to save in her notes and do that from the website, but just try to make it simple and easy. And then we broke it down with her back office. Since she was brand new, we went through at least 1 enrollment or 2 enrollments together, so that we did it together. So then that was easier for her to catch on, because she and I are kind of like, we can do technology that we have to do, but we wouldn't call ourselves techies. So doing it together made a lot of sense for duplication. And then she tried to do that with her daughter as well, who's building now. So those were a few tidbits that I had. And when you're someone, she already had a really good idea, way better than I did, of network marketing. So once she got those tools, she just went on fire. Like when we were driving back from Charlotte, she's like, I got to get this in before midnight. I got to get it done before midnight. So then I'm talking to her through my car, high-tech redneck I've got going on right now. But anyway, we're talking as she stopped in traffic, and we made it happen in pockets of times. But I'll let you give her what was most helpful to her.
Thank you.
So it's kind of like a fine-tuned situation too, because Jennifer's leadership is so good, and she's so giving of her time, and there's so much information to share at first. But even throughout her showing me, like, just even creating folders in notes, doing that, I've got my Isogenics folder there, and I've got an Isogenics folder on my photos. So I do a lot of copying and pasting to both of those so that I can shoot it to people that are helpful. And I use, depending on who it is and what we're doing, a variety of the different tools. So I've been trying to show like Corey and Ryan that. And interestingly, after I got back from Charlotte, my husband and I, well, I don't know, Carl, it was a couple days ago, got on the Global Exec and went to listen to the Cougars videos. And we started with hers, and it said, oh, no, you need to go to her husband's first. So we did that, and things start to click more. But the big thing is in that fine tuning, it is, if you're going to do duplication, as things are kind of taking off, the first few people I wanted to enroll, I did a lot of them over the phone so that I could get experience with it, so I could help people and know where they were going and what they were doing. Now I realize as my network's growing, I need to teach people how to do it from the get-go. So it was kind of a learning curve for me, but to be successful and teach duplication, I now need to get people on it or sitting with me together doing it, writing down their passwords, doing all that kind of thing. And I have another one that I walked her through it, and now she's getting very comfortable. So that duplication is huge. And as I said, it's kind of a fine tuning. So there was a learning curve, but as I get more confident, you got to have those clip notes. And that's where it's just a blessing to have that Global Fit website, because it is all right there. You just need to get comfortable with it to know where to direct people to. And then for those super inquisitive people, everything's there. They can spend hours on it and learn.
It's so true, Jenny. It's so true. And that's the thing I love about the website and our tools, is that if you get the right person who's truly motivated to do this, and you give them an overview and a lay of the land of where to get plugged in and where the resources are, they're going to run with it. And they're either going to run with it or they aren't, right? And it's kind of a numbers game as to who you recruit. And there's going to be people who say they're ready to do it and say they want to do it, and then they just don't. And that's not on you, right? That's just where they are in life. But then you occasionally get the people who you give them the tools and they go in and they spend their time, discovering and realizing the full potential of the website and the resources. So I love that. And I agree with you with the comp videos. And you guys know this about me, anybody that's on the line, even that's been recently enrolled, I default to the GET webpage for everything. Jen, I was on a call with your girl out in California earlier this week. And even if someone, I know there's a million videos on cost objection, a million videos on compensation. You can pull them from all kinds of websites. But I habitually, for a reason, pull everything from the Global Exec Team page. So I pulled the cost objection video from our Global Exec Team page and sent it to her, because I wanted her to see that that website is a one-stop shop. Earlier this week, Karam, one of my new guys, was ready to enroll someone, and he wanted to know what kind of information he needed to enroll someone. Well, I could have texted it all to him, or I could have pulled it from anywhere, but I went to the Global Exec Team page, went to where when you're ready to enroll someone, clicked on where the form is, took a screenshot of it, sent it to him with the website, and said, this is where you go. So that way, when he goes back to do it himself, he's going back to the same web page. It's the same web page over and over and over and over again. It's all there. So I love what you had to say there. And organization, Jennifer, I love that you're giving Jenny some organizational tidbits, because we really can make $1 million with just our phone. A huge portion of it is organization. The notes section of my cell phone has been my lifeline for 4 years, for sure. So I love that you were sharing that. Anything else, Jenny or Jen, that you guys want to share before I kind of dive into my nuggets? Oh, sorry, Jenny, I put you on mute because there was like some ambient back noise. Let me unmute you. Or can you mute yourself? There you go. Wait. Oh, Jen, you wanted to talk? Go ahead. This whole Jenny thing is confusing me.
Well, we are Team Jen squared at times with her downline, so it kind of works. But no, I just wanted to say it's the momentum. With momentum builds confidence. Mm-hmm. Like Becky and I are figuring out things. Becky and Co are getting ready to be on fire too. So, but it's the momentum, it's working together, and the confidence, the other seeing what's working. we're having a blast right now, and we're already getting scheduled, getting everybody figured out for Nashville. So I'm pumped, but just go with that confidence and have fun and pockets of time.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of events, and then I'm going to dive into this. Is anyone looking at going to ISA University in May 2nd? Bueller, Martin, you're thinking about it? Or were you scratching your shoulder? You're thinking about it? Yeah, okay. This is one event I have never been to. I've been to University in Action, and I definitely will be in that one in Toronto in October because David Wood is that good. But I highly recommend it, Martin, especially with kind of your shift and like readiness to do this. I think that what keeps you moving with this business is moving from one event to the next, because they propel you and just put you into action. Like, you think about the belief you got from just sitting at a day-long event with the Cepedas, and then imagine going to a 2 or 3 day program with a number of Isagenix millionaires on stage. And the things I love about this is that even though we're on the number 1 income earning team, we tend to do things a certain way, and that's fine, but I love cross-pollination. Being able to learn from leaders from other teams across the country and world that are crushing it, that could be something that we could bring back to our team to totally up the ante. So if there's any way you can work it into your schedule, I think it's going to be huge. Jessica Johnston and I are both going. I think Dawn Turner's coming. I might be twisting her arm into forcing her to come.
No, I want to come.
Okay.
I'm totally trying.
Okay.
That's my game plan. Woo woo. Okay.
So we have a tentative Dawn and a maybe Martin. That would be awesome, I think, and it's going to be incredible. So, if you're looking for the event to kind of take you through, because we don't have another event until August, right? So this would be a great event to kind of take you through till Celebration. Okay. Here's what I'm going to share with you guys on my 2 cents on getting your new people engaged. Even for people that you've enrolled that are they're like, I'm not sure about the business, but I'm definitely interested in maybe getting my products paid for. It's still important to give them access. First of all, I always onboard them on the Global Exec Team page on that very step 1, open your box, shake day, cleanse day, right? It doesn't matter whether they're a business or product person, they're all coming into that platform. And for that reason, one of the gateways to your product users can be, hey, every Tuesday morning we have reviews with the team from 8 to 8:30 about the products. It's team training on the product. Would love for you to jump in and really kind of validate and learn, why it is this nutrition works so well. Because you guys know every week it's a different speaker, it's a different focus. So it's a kind of a great gateway to get people in. But let's shift back for a minute to your new people who are interested in, hey, I want to figure out how to make some money with this business. What do I do? And how do I do it? Well, in the old days, I used to tell people, hey, who for sure would want to do this with you? Go find 2 people, product or biz, and let's get you started. And that's easier said than done, right? Like, I remember when I was trying to recruit my first 2 people, I had no idea. I was a blubbering mess. I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't know what to send people. I didn't know anything, but I was excited, right? And so we want to make sure we are giving people tools when you get off the phone with them that they can go reach out and funnel in their network immediately. They don't have to know anything, but they can ask people to take a look, okay? So the very first thing is making sure these new people that you've enrolled, even somebody you literally are just getting off the phone with them, and they just ordered day 1. Let them know, hey, we have product overviews every Tuesday night. You guys at this point should know the link is the same every Tuesday night. It's Jessica Johnston's Zoom link. It's the same on Tuesday nights, and it's the same on Wednesday night. So these new people that we're enrolling on a weekly basis, at a minimum, you can tell them, hey, if you've ordered a value pack today, I'd love to show you how we can get your value pack for free before the end of the week. If you can think of a couple of people who for sure would be interested in doing this with you, we have live webinars on Tuesday nights. You can just ask them to come in and take a look. You can send them the link. And then all they have to do is follow up to see what people thought about the video, the overview. See, they don't have to be an expert. They don't have to know anything. They can just say, hey, I'm really excited about this. Would you be interested? And ask them to go take a look, right? Same thing with the business. I'm recruiting more people for business now than ever before. And they're really excited, but they have no idea what they're actually fully excited about yet. So again, you can tell them, and like this, I know, Jenny, there's been kind of a shift in you in talking about the business. And so you tell people, hey, if you want to learn more about the business, you know, we've got a speaker on Wednesday night that's going to talk about the financial opportunity, the income, you know, the market landscape, why this company, why the comp model is outstanding. And not only is she going to overview it with you, but she's a 6-figure income earner. So like, it's validation, right? And there's a different speaker every week who's at least a 6-figure income earner. So it's validation as you're asking your network to come in and take a look, as you're asking your team that you're recruiting to come in and take a look. So I hope that this is becoming second nature for you guys, because we're offering this so our teams can duplicate quickly without having to be an expert, okay? So that's number one. Number two is the morning calls. So anyone that you're enrolling, and this is for your brand new people who are interested in the business, and not just you, because you guys are really good about this, but making sure this is on your onboarding list for your new people who are also in recruitment mode. Are they, when they enroll people who are interested in the business, are they instantly plugging them into the get calls? Are you instantly plugging them into the get calls? Because, and I've talked about this with you guys before, but when I enroll someone, like my most recent enrollment, Kristen, I enrolled her last week when we were at the Cepeda event. You better bet for the first couple of days, I'm like shooting her the dial-in information every single day, the contact information and the PIN number at like 7:55. Hey, really excited for you to meet the team. Hey, can't wait for you to jump on the call. Hey, you'd really love to hear that. You have to be a little annoying at first, because the reality is these people have no idea what they're missing. And they have no idea what resources actually out there for them. And it's going to take, people are busy. Even when they say they're interested in the business, 8 a.m. in the morning, you're juggling a full-time job and you've got little kids under your feet, it is not a priority. But if your sponsor who has full belief in you is messaging you saying, hey, I really think you're going to find value in this, even if you're in the middle of feeding your kids breakfast and you're scrambling eggs, put it on in the background. Because this is your opportunity and your downline's opportunity to begin to leverage that duplication piece of getting trained by master trainers while you're out and about in your day, or learning yourself. And I'm saying this to you, but I'm also wanting you to know that I'm speaking to you as though you are the leader, and this is you with your teams, okay? So making sure that the people that you're enrolling are making it second nature to invite their new people to the calls, to get them into the culture, to get them comfortable, because the more stories they hear, the more validation they get, the more comfortable they become with the product, the more competent they become with the financial opportunity. And you never know what speaker is going to resonate with them, right? The reality is many times the people we recruit get motivated by somebody else, and it's not us. It's another leader in our upline, right? And that's totally fine, okay? So I hope I'm like sending like a take-home message here with getting people plugged in. And then Jenny, you hit the nail on the head with the website. With every single new person that I enroll, product or business, I used to not do this, and I do over the past year. I've shifted with this. You work so hard to connect, reach out, follow up, get on calls, follow up, answer questions to get to that point to enroll someone. Why would you, once you enroll them, just leave them floundering, right? Like you're at like third base or maybe even second base at this point. You still have a couple of bases to get around to get this person up and running and confident and ready to go with the business. I think sometimes we get the success of the enrollment is like such a high that then it's like you almost forget about them before, once you've gotten them enrolled, and there's still some work to do. And what I mean by that is with every new business builder that I enroll, within a week, within 7 days of enrolling them, I schedule a Zoom call with them, and I make them watch the 3 different videos on step 1 with opening your box and the shake and the cleanse day. So I make them do their homework first and say, hey, the only thing I need from you is that you watch these videos before we chat, right? And I circle back with them. If they haven't watched the videos before our call, I reschedule with them, because I'm not going to spend 15 minutes answering questions about shakes and cleanse when there's a video that does that for them. I'm teaching them duplication, right? I don't want them to think they have to be on the phone with someone for 30 minutes talking about shake days and cleanse days. Plus, if they haven't done their homework, then maybe they're not quite ready for this, right? So leverage the websites. My new enrollments, I always, spend that time with them. And then before I get off the phone with them, I've already got my next call scheduled with them. And part of this is I probably treat it a little bit like my previous MSL director job. All of my direct reports, I had like a weekly or a bi-weekly call with them, because they were all across the country. I never saw them, and it was my only point of connection with them, right? So when you're brand new enrolling someone, when you onboard them, you want to make sure, A, they have a good product experience, or they're probably going to have kind of a hard time promoting it, right? But then B, you want to make sure you're getting them plugged into the business. You want to, and this is what I'm going to get to in a second, but spending time with them in working with them on their 30-second story, working with them on creating their top 100 list. And if this sounds foreign to you, it shouldn't. I want you to go to the Global Exec Team page and let that be your template to lead these people into the organization, and make sure that your enrollments are doing the same. And so it's important that you follow the process so that they can go back and follow that same process when they enroll their people. So I do the product onboarding, and then the following week, really get into the 30-second story. And that brings me to next Sunday, guys. I want us to practice our 30-second stories. I'll close with that in a couple minutes. Okay. So I told you I was going to give you 6 nuggets. 1, get them on the morning calls. Make sure your team is getting their enrollments on the morning calls. Number 2, make sure you're onboarding people with the website, the shake days, the cleanse days, stepping into the business, using all the videos from that to coach. 3, leverage the overviews, right? So we talked about that. Make sure your team, day 1 that they're enrolled, knows about the overviews at night on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. It's going to be the quickest way to get enrollments without them having to be experts. Number 4 is, does your team know how to pull you in for a 3-way, or are they out there just trying to do it all themselves? Okay. Have you made it clear to them that you'd be happy to jump on a call with them, or I would be happy to jump on a call with them, or someone in your upline would be happy to jump on a call with them? Anyone on the line here tonight, I am more than happy to do a 3-way call with you, right? So your team has to know that you're there to support them, because they're not experts yet, okay? So that's important. So that's nugget number 4. Nugget number 5 is, and again, the verbiage for 3-way calls, all the guidance on 3-way calls, this is all in the Global Exec Team page if you follow through the steps. And that goes to people making their first post. Now, some people like to use social media to leverage their first couple of enrollments. Some don't. I have found that women who are pretty social on social media like to leverage Facebook for enrollments. I have found that in general, men that's not really their cup of tea. So I'm not really coaching men to put up half-naked pictures of themselves for the most part, because it's just not what they're interested in doing. A lot of the men that I recruit, they're recruiting for the business. And so it's a totally different conversation. And it's a totally different social media platform. But having said that, they can still be connecting, sending out messages, and recruiting, right? So the key is with your enrollments and the people that your team is enrolling, do they have the scripts? Do they have the verbiage that they can start connecting immediately? If they've thought of a list of 10 or 15 people that they want to connect with and see if this is right for them, do they know where to go to get the right verbiage? Whether it's a social media post or a direct text or a phone call, are they equipped to do that? So that's where I use the Global Exec Team page again. So I'm going to use, Kristen, the girl I just enrolled, as the example. She's going to do a social media post tonight. She totally loves social media and she's happy to do it. I enrolled a girl from Amgen a month ago, who won't touch social media with a 10-foot pole because she's afraid Big Pharma will find out about it and fire her. So people are just different, And so the first thing I did 2 days ago was I sent her the link within the Global Exec Team page where it shows exactly the verbiage that you can use when coming out on social media about getting started on a 30-day reset. So instead of me crafting something myself and sending it her, I'm making it duplicatable because I'm showing her that it's actually a resource on our webpage so that when she goes to recruit her first person, she can do the exact same thing. She's not trying to recreate the wheel. So it's important that we use those things. So make sure that you and your team are setting people up from day one with the right verbiage and resource on that. And there's verbiage on the Global Exec page for leading with the financial opportunity as well. And I use that a lot. Okay, so the last nugget I have for you guys, and I think this worked really well for Jenny, and that is if you do a back office overview with your new recruits, I don't have anyone convert themselves to associate until they're ready to enroll their first person because their deadline starts ticking, okay? Their deadline starts ticking. But once they flip from preferred customer to associate and they make their first enrollment, their deadlines for rank advancement starts to tick. That's the perfect time in your back office. And Jennifer, I don't know if you did this with Jenny, but you show them on their main screen, okay, let's look. What's your deadline for Crystal Manager? Okay, you've got 49 days, whatever that date is. Let's put it in the calendar and let's talk about what Crystal Manager is. You're going to introduce 2 people, and then those 2 people, you're going to teach them how to do the same thing. And we have 40, whatever number of days to do that. You've got it in the calendar, you've got the deadline, but then you explain to them the financial impact, right? The cool thing about going manager, it's great to go consultant, but when you go manager and you do it in 60 days, you get a $250 bonus. You also are eligible for pool money. And you're going to be creeping up on the 5-cycle bonus as well, which you can hit twice, so you can make $500 there. So it's important to let people know that there's money on the table, right? Okay, so those are my nuggets. So in summary, I'm just going to say these one more time, guys, because this is just kind of ingrained in me for onboarding, and I hope that you guys are duplicating this with your teams. But number 1, instantaneously get people on the calls, no matter what. You want them to meet the team. You want them to become a part of the culture. Number 2, onboard them with the website. Use the website, get comfortable with the website so that they can duplicate that. Number 3, leverage our evening overviews, Tuesday and Wednesday night. I'm doing them this week. I'm going to challenge you guys. I'm going to spend a large chunk of tomorrow asking all kinds of people to join this week, to come in and take a look. All we're doing is ask people to take a look, right? Number 4, 3-way calls. Is your team and downline, and are you comfortable with scheduling 3-way calls? Number 5, making sure people have the verbiage to get started. And number 6, knowing their deadlines. And I think that is it for me. And see, it's 9:36. So those are just my nuggets for duplication. I don't know if that's anything new. It's really, I've been saying it till I'm blue in the face, but I think there's a lot of new people. So it's new to the people who are new to this, right? What questions do you guys have? Comments, thoughts?
That was great, Melissa. Thank you. This is Melva. So just for anybody, I see some new people, that's the globalexecteam.com website with the password, all capital 1 team.
Yep.
That she referred to in case anybody doesn't have that. But I thought those were very helpful, clear, concise steps. So appreciate it.
Awesome. Yes. And Melva, I saw you put an enrollment in this week. You go, girl.
Yes, I did. She's been using the products for a year. She decided to join. She's with somebody else's account, and she came to me and she's like, "Can we open my account today?" And I'm like, "You just missed all the free memberships, woman." So I gave her a free canister of shake.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. That's cool though. Yeah, so let's keep it simple, guys. And if you stick to the webpage and use the page as your guide, doesn't matter how new you are, when you enroll someone, if you use the webpage as your guide, you're going to onboard people properly. What I wanted to land on is that our 30-second stories, if you guys have been around for a while, you know 30-second stories are critical. Our ability to concisely, within 30 seconds, share how our life was before Isagenix, what our life has been like after Isagenix, and why we're excited about the future. It's so important that we're succinct and confident with that, and that we have a financial story and we have a physical story. And the financial story doesn't have to be that you're a gazillionaire. The financial story can be about what you're excited about with the future, why you're excited about partnering with this company, right? But the importance is, and I think back to, and it's not that this is necessarily sales, but in a sense we're sharing and selling a business. And I think back to my pharma training, we had like just ad nauseum training on verbiage and how it came out of our mouths and how we articulated. And so it's no different in that we need to be very concise and articulate with what Isagenix has done for us physically and what it has done for us or is doing for us financially moving forward. And so my homework with you guys is that next Sunday night, I'd love for us as a group, and you can bring a glass of wine if that makes you more comfortable, or a beer or two to loosen you up, but I'd love for us to go around in a group and all of us practice our stories and get some feedback. Because the more succinct you can be, the more you're going to be able to connect with people and then turn it back to them. And so if you're wanting some ideas on the 30-second story, then you can go to the Global Exec Team page. After I get off this call, I'll actually just give you guys the direct link to where it is on our training page. And I want you to look at just the thought process around what a 30-second story truly is. And I want us to become experts on this, because we need to be experts on a 30-second story so that when our new people come in and in the first 30 days, they're transformed physically, we can coach them on how to articulate what's happened to them in 30 seconds. Because what happens is a lot of people get so excited and have such great results, they can't shut up about it, like to the point that it's too much. And their prospects run away because it's too good to be true and these people are obnoxious, right? And so there's definitely some good coaching that we can give our new people who are coming in, and it's good practice for all of us. So I'll type in the website link after the call tonight. I want you guys to go check out the 30-second story piece, just so you can practice your 30-second story physically and financially. And again, know that your financial story can be growing. Your financial story can be what you're excited about in the future. It doesn't have to mean that you're, the end all be all Jimmy Smith or whatever. And we're gonna have fun with it next week. What do you guys think about that? I know you're so excited. You can't stand it, right? It's important though. It's so important. And then maybe the next week we'll practice leading with the ultimate pack, right? Because you can't lead with it until you're confident with it, right? All right. So we'll wrap up. Reminders: free shipping, free enrollment this week. That's a huge savings. I hope that you guys leverage that along with our opportunity overviews Tuesday and Wednesday night. Great messaging to send out to people. Hey, our fearless leader is running the overviews this week. I'd love for you to hear her perspective on the products, or I'd love for you to hear her perspective on the business. And super, super awesome. We've got free shipping and free enrollment this week. There's never been a better time to get started, right? Like, this is a perfect message for people this week. So leverage it. For sure. Hope to see you guys on the call tomorrow morning. And Dawn and I will be back at you on Tuesday morning with product. I think Susan's kicking off the call Monday morning. Anybody have any final comments before we wrap up? All righty. Have a good night. Good night.
Good night.